Good evening. This is one of those recordings that's likely just for me. Hence why I'm gonna keep the bad lighting and the way the sun is coming through. Let me see if I can. It's going right across my face. Well, that's okay. I'm gonna let it stay. I just wanna, what a day this has been. I when I talk about, or when I talk with myself and try to go within about my greatest passion and perhaps my greatest gift, it is truly connecting to others at a deep level, not surface level, although I don't ever want to minimize that, but really connecting to the depths of who somebody is. And when you connect that deeply, my experience has been that it's a wider spectrum of emotion, a wider spectrum of humanity that you're touching, meaning you're touching, even if it's not specifically discussed or mentioned or overtly shared, when you go deep and connect deeply with somebody, you're connecting to the greatest pains they've experienced in a lifetime, in this lifetime, and to the greatest aspirations and dreams. And that is not something that our surface level, in mass world is yet, and I stress yet, is yet feeding, supporting, structured around. It's still a rarity to have the time, if not anything else, the time that it does take in a lot of cases to touch the depths of somebody in those places. It is possible to do it in an instant. Certain traumas or experiences that are shared, which would mean that you wouldn't necessarily know somebody with any great history, can connect people deeply. That's for certain. But in general, developing a trusting relationship where those sorts of depths can be safe to share with one another takes time, takes effort, takes vulnerability. One, being vulnerable yourself. Two, being able to hold the space for somebody else to be vulnerable. And I had a couple of experiences, a few actually. I'd say no fewer than 3 or 4, just in the past couple of days, all on different levels. You know, not in the same manner where they shared. One in particular is on my heart and on my mind right now. And it's very special. It's very special because despite me having a history in this entire lifetime of going deep naturally, the place from where I am able to do that now, present day, here in 2023 is unprecedented. And I am still only very recently removed from another round of my own pain and traumatic, deep connection in a relationship, which always takes you to the depths if you allow it. And as I still self-reflect, reconcile myself and my energy from that round, this latest round with this particular person in my life, I emerge again as a different version of myself. That, of course, coupled with all the other pieces of what represent my reality at present, having my artwork out in the world and a handful of people valuing it and connecting it enough to want it in their home. Insane how great that has felt. Connecting through my artwork to my own father in an off the charts, out of this world, completely unexpected way. Could not have imagined that the Father's Day gift that divinely came to me, inspired, something from much bigger than me, came through in a single moment. I followed through in that moment, completed the project, put it in the mail the next day, and a week later, pure magic. Humbling, amazing magic in his response. And truly, truly out of this world. Like, I touched something I've not ever touched in him. Not as an adult. I mean, I'm sure I touched that spot as a child, as a baby, as his oldest child, as his only daughter. Like, I know that sort of indirectly I touched that spot with my father, but not through making a choice and through direct creation of something as an adult. And I'm still sort of reeling in the best of ways from that experience. And was even able to utilize and reference the energy of that experience in this exchange that happened in the past 24 hours with another friend in my world, going through something with people close to his heart. And it's, you can't put a value on these things. And yet, that is a gift. To be able to be able and willing to go to those sorts of depths and heights with another being. To be able to hold space for somebody when they're going through the muck in on their own path. And you know that we all have to travel our own path. So often, the only thing we can do is hold the space. But in my experience, my past, when I thought people were holding that space for me, it seemed as if it was then held against me. Those same people weren't on the other side. They couldn't understand enough of what I was going through, hadn't been through it at that depth on their own. Something was missing in the dynamic where when and if I needed them on the high side to hold space and see and support and be there for the even stronger, brighter Alyson that would emerge invariably after going through another round of muck. They weren't there in the same way. I don't know if that makes sense, but to be able to be on both ends of the spectrum for another human being, it's just something I personally haven't experienced a whole hell of a lot of. And in recent years, as I've healed enough of my wounds to draw in and allow and not be fearful of the intimate relationships that are closest in my world now, which is not a large number, and afford myself the opportunity to reflect, project and reflect in an exchange with people the best version of myself, and be able to have others be doing the same, where it's not, the exchanges aren't ever being used as power struggles or conditional meetings or transactional, spreadsheets where you just feel that you owe somebody or they owe you. I mean, there's just that energy of transactional that seems to dominate our world. And so it's new for me to have these sorts of unbelievably balanced, deep relationships. And it's beautiful. And it also scares the shit out of me still. Because as deep and as beautiful as they are in these exchanges, they're still sort of at bay. An intimate relationship with a man scares the shit out of me still. Even though I'm having these deep exchanges with beings in male form at present, a couple, not many. It's got, there's still a layer of, I'm not intimate with these men. I'm not dating these men because this is new. Not allowing sort of that piece to get in the way when it's heterosexual. And it's also new because I'm still getting used to even not being afraid of letting my female friends, my closest female friends right now, to be able to trust and receive beautiful love and support I get from them. Because again, in my past, there's always been some sort of threshold point that I would reach when somebody would ditch it, when I wouldn't be worth it. The relationship with me would reach a point where it was no longer worth it. So I just wanted to capture a snippet, try to at least, of this beautiful energy that's been exchanged. Specifically the past couple of days, but really it's been kind of a week because there's two different beautiful male energies that one's been in my life for a few years. One is a reconnect. Somebody I hadn't been connected to for over a decade. And we didn't know one another all that well at all when we were connected. So in a lot of ways, it's brand new. And in both instances, in both energetic dynamics, it's just amazing to have healthy, deep exchanges. Right now, for me, as a woman who's dying to feel safe enough to allow her feminine energy to emerge more and more, and to be able to release the intense masculine that has led this life, that had to lead this life, quite literally, from the moment out of the womb. And the softening is allowing for a beautiful balance within myself. And it's a trip to begin to see and feel and experience the reflection of that outside of myself, and specifically through beings in male form. It's great. So anyhow, I just wanted to capture a little bit. And it happens to be 12 years ago today, almost at this exact moment. It was 6 p.m. Seattle time on June 29th that I arrived in Seattle. Right now it's 5:11 Seattle time, June 29th. 12 years ago, I landed in Seattle, never intending to only be there for just 14 months. But that stop on my journey was enormous. And it was the first big stop post-awakening. And it's just, there's some dates that still don't leave my head. June 29th is one of them. So apropos and perfect that this little bit comes through today at this time. Good night.